So it was at first uncomfortable and like, wow, really?
Really? You were amazed.
Really? You like this? Okay. But I have dated, and not for a long time, but I met a very 21 years old,
Wow, okay.
which almost feels like a sin. Like, I will go to hell.
I need to drink coffee.
And I'm not. I go for the big one.
Yeah, what's the big one?
When I say extreme, I mean 21-year-old, 62-year-old.
Yes.
There is just going to be different. At 62, most men, you're just not going to be able to go as long, all those things that you did when you were younger.
Yes, yes. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's Wang, and today we are in Olive Strait of Asia.
Yeah.
Yes, with Marco. Hi, Marco. How are you doing?
I'm having
cheers.
a mango pina colada
So what
with
I
a bunch
have?
of tequila in it. So we'll see how good this interview goes. That's a joke.
No, today I'm here with Marco again. It's your second time to be in my channel.
Am.
Last time was kind of like how you feel about last time in my channel.
Yeah, and before we talk about the actual what was on that interview,
Yes.
how did that episode do on your channel?
It's doing great.
It is?
Yes, yes.
Really?
15K views. Thank you for that. I mean, the frustration of Filipina like me is, got a lot of views.
Well, I angered some people, I think.
So I'm here with Marco today to discuss this interesting topic about age gaps. So yes, everyone is talking about it, especially
everybody.
Foreigner and Filipina. Sometimes 40 years age gap. Marco, tell me, you have an experience about Filipina. You mentioned it before that you've dated a couple of Filipinos. So tell me your opinion about age gap, your experience about it.
Okay, so when I first got to Southeast Asia, I guess I had heard about it, but in the United States, it's considered you just don't do it.
Really?
You just don't do it.
Why?
Well, for me as let's say a high school teacher,
yes,
I can't be thinking about dating the high school students.
You were a high school teacher for how long, right?
For 30 years.
Yes, yes, you mentioned it.
So and there's obviously morality and laws and everything. So you really don't think about it.
Yes.
But you get over here to Southeast Asia, and as soon as I was here walking around, all of a sudden I was getting all this attention from very young, beautiful Filipinas and Cambodian, all the different countries.
Yes.
And so it was at first uncomfortable and like, wow, really?
Really? You were amazed.
Really? You like this? Okay. But slowly I started to learn about the culture and why that's accepted. And then as we're digging here into the reasons why it's accepted and all the little pieces that make it work and can make it work in a good way. And I met couples and I thought, oh, they're happy.
Yes,
He's 62, she's 40 or 21, and like it's working. I can see that works. It's no relationship is perfect, but they have a balance and it works.
Yeah.
So then I think probably the second time I came back to Southeast Asia, I went on one of the dating sites.
Yeah.
And I found a Filipina. She was 35 at the time.
Yeah. So how was it?
And so it was. It definitely was a learning experience. We dated for 4 months. She traveled with me.
Wow.
She had pretty good English.
Wow.
She was, older. She wasn't 20, and so the age gap. So I did that. So let's go to the other side of the scale.
Yes.
I have dated, and not for a long time, but I met a very 21 years old.
Wow, okay.
Which almost feels like a sin. Like, I will go to hell.
I need to drink coffee.
And I'm not going to go into all the reasons, but there was what I immediately realized with this young lady. She was incredibly intelligent. She was incredibly fluent in English.
Yes.
She knew all my references.
Really?
I immediately was saying, why? How do you know that? Oh, because I love to read.
Oh,
Read,
wow.
read.
Yeah, yeah.
I watch all the movies. And so there was this great connection with us that we could communicate. And she was a deep thinker. She was
Wow,
contemplating
yeah.
a lot of things in her own life, and so we get into that. And there was a mentorship in some sense. So that's kind of the tricky balance.
Yes.
So we talked about the tricky balance
Yes.
with finances.
Yes.
Now there's one with somebody like me who's a teacher so I'm with this 21-year-old and dating, but I'm also helping her. Like, she's making
Yes.
big life decisions. She's going through struggles. So
Yeah.
how do you do that balance? Very hard. It's very hard.
Yes.
And at least for me. And some of the relationships that I've seen between that has a 40-year gap, I think that it's always present that the older man who's got a life experience is going to offer some insights.
Yes. Yes.
Now
I
hopefully
think,
he isn't, wagging his finger always trying to be like daddy.
Yeah.
Which, of course, if we even go into that word, daddy,
yes,
daddy. Yeah, that's a whole.
So, as you mentioned, you were dating a mature Filipina, like she was 35,
Yeah.
and the other one is 21 years old.
Correct.
So, what is the big difference? What is the big difference between the two women?
I can tell you that in many ways, there were things about the 21-year-old that worked better for me than the 35-year-old.
Yes.
Just because of who she was as a person and her experience, etc. There's also things about the 35-year-old that also worked. So I think the bottom line, and for a foreigner, it comes down to personality.
Yes,
It really does.
I agree with
And
that. That there could be a younger Filipina who thinks very mature and intelligent at the age of 21.
And I'll tell you the other factors that go on. And it didn't count for her, but I've dated some that had a foreign boyfriend for a while.
Oh, wow.
So their English got better.
Yes.
They were more familiar with the culture and some of the references and such. So that helps. Now, a lot of times the foreigner might end up trashing the poor gal and, whatever he does or doesn't do. But it's experience. And so she brings that experience to the new relationship. And the nice thing, at least I think for me, is that usually they realize, okay, I'm different. I am not going to trash you. I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to abuse you. I'm not going to berate you. I'm not going to be condescending to you. And that becomes I think, a very relaxing moment for her. That, okay, this feels much better.
Yeah.
But the age,
it's not.
It doesn't. But you got to play probabilities.
Yes.
So when I'm on the dating sites, I'm definitely in the 30-40 category, mostly looking.
Yes. But sometimes.
But keeping an eye out that maybe. And the 21-year-old I didn't even meet on the dating site. So.
So did you encounter here in Philippines when you are walking with your younger Filipina, like people?
Absolutely.
Like,
as a matter of fact, I laugh at it as soon as soon as we start walking. As soon as we start walking, especially if I'm gonna try to hold her hand.
Yeah.
Number one, you guys don't like the whole public affection thing that much, but
I like. I'm kidding.
You do like. I think they're shy, right? Right? Yeah. So most times they're shy, but Filipinos are walking, and what are they doing? Their eyes are scanning the mall or scanning the street, scanning the restaurant because they want to see who's doing the Meritas, who's doing the chica on me. So there's a real paranoia there.
Yeah, some other people will really saving face. And
you only met your boyfriends a couple times, so did you ever experience that? Were you ever walking?
Oh yeah, because I've met him a couple of times because he was on vacation here in Philippines. Because he's a very tall guy and kind of big. So and I'm small, so kind of I don't know if it's true, but it's kind of like something they talk like sometimes they pointed us like thinking, oh, what is thinking like kind of like that, and really by thinking like, he gonna break her into pieces, kind of like that.
Ooh, we're going there.
Now, as I get mature, I learn how to like don't. Sometimes Filipino most like it's hard for them to improve themselves because they're too worried what people said. So I am kind of living a life that I don't care what you say, as long as you are not my best friend, you are not my family. You're not helping me. I'm not gonna kind of like consider your opinion about me.
Good.
That's what I am kind of learning every day.
Well, and I think even this job you now have, your vocation, is you can't be staring around thinking what people are thinking right now.
Yes,
Because you're here focused with me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. That's most of the women should learn. Like, don't worry about some other people thinking about you. Worry about how to build yourself more each day. Kind of like that. So okay, so is there anything else that it may be a challenge to you dating a younger Filipina here?
Are we going to talk about sex?
Okay.
Have the children leave the room? Okay.
So yes. Well,
Okay.
in terms of that.
So this isn't, so first, not culturally. Let's just talk age.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's go to an extreme. So,
Extreme.
well, when I say extreme, I mean 21-year-old, 62-year-old.
Yes.
There is just going to be different. At 62, most men, you're just not going to be able to go as long, all those things that you did when you were younger.
Yes.
Now, I think the good thing, hopefully, that we become a little bit wiser and more caring as a partner.
Yeah.
And so, because of course, one of the almost comical things that's talked about with young men is they get in bed and 5 minutes later, boom, they're done.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go play golf now.
So are you telling me it's gonna take forever?
I'm just sitting here innocently, just innocently.
Are you telling
Forever?
me?
Now, when you say forever, Wang, are you saying that would be a good thing or a bad thing?
It depends. It depends. Okay.
My experience is that yes, taking your time.
Yeah.
There's enjoyment. There's the whole thing we call foreplay of building and not rushing.
Yes.
Because
take your time.
Yeah, take your time and then take breaks. I mean, quite literally.
How often do you take a break?
Well, it depends on how vigorous it gets, but there certainly has been times I'm thinking to myself,
yes,
my heart rate is at maximum right now. I'm out of breath, and if I keep going, I'm going to faint, and that would be kind of embarrassing. So, you take a break.
You take a break. Yes. Or, like people think like about it, and they think like Filipina that goes to mature men than their age is like aftering about that, but they have to realize that it's not about just that. It's not about what's happened in the bedroom every night or how many acrobat position you're going to do every night. It's about caring.
Absolutely.
Yes, and how he gonna take care of you, and of course that's part of it. So yeah, you have to work on that.
No, absolutely.
Yes, but
and I always say right up front before sex happens, it's saying, if we're going to do this, great.
Yeah.
Sex is this wonderful thing.
Yes,
it's a way to have a connection nothing else.
Yes.
However, it is, and I always use the cake analogy.
Yeah.
When you have a birthday cake, the frosting, that's the sex.
Yes.
The cake is personality, is communication.
I agree with that. Yes.
Working through conflict. That's the real. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. Nobody has a good relationship based on their great sex.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's the opposite. They have a great relationship, and then
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
great sex because they feel comfortable with one another, they take care of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with that. That's really a good explanation in your side. So, what your advice about Filipinas that go date older men, like especially foreigners?
Yeah. I would say number one is your advice. Take the wing,
Yes.
rule number one, don't
Mm.
go into it with
Yes.
that, oh, he's going to support me.
Yes. Yes.
That's,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
going to be wonderful. I'll never have to
Mm-hmm.
work it.
Yeah.
You're just setting yourself up for failure. You're
Yes.
setting yourself up to be controlled
Yes.
by him.
By him.
And
Yeah.
you talked about your
Yeah.
boyfriend kind of did that at one
Yes.
point.
Yes.
So you don't want that.
Mm.
You'll just be miserable. I've talked to Filipinas in the United States who moved over there with their husband. They were so in love, and now they're miserable because he controls everything.
Everything. Yeah.
So that would be my first piece of try to be independent.
Yeah.
If you're not going to get fully there, like you're going to be able to walk into a relationship and say, buddy, I am completely independent. I don't need your money. I want your love, not your money. So, but I think most Filipinos don't have that.
Yeah,
Most.
yes, it's hard to learn that, Marco. It takes a lot of disappointments first before you can feel like, okay, I have to pick up myself altogether and go into life.
The next piece of advice is if they don't have the finances
Yeah.
and the guy's gonna make sure he's sincere,
Yeah.
make sure he knows right up front that it's
Yes.
not about just her, but her family.
Yes,
Because that's important in Filipino culture.
yes.
So if grandma gets sick, he better step up.
So, wait, let me cut you a little bit about this. What is your opinion about Filipino who is kind of like, when they have a foreigners in their life, like now it's your responsibility, their grandmas, they got sick, their brothers and stuff like that. All the family problems, it's like, it's gonna be your responsibility as well. Like, did you had an experience like that,
Oh,
Marco?
absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
How you deal with it?
It's hard. What do? Do you say no? You don't. I don't. Say
But did you no, yes, I know.
But if second removed cousin all of a sudden comes to the house and hasn't been there in 3 years and says, "Hey, Rowena, how are you doing?
Yeah.
I hear you have a rich boyfriend," and asks for a loan.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
at least for me, I think for the advice for the foreigners, make sure you know where your boundaries are.
Yes,
Make sure
yes.
So for the Filipina, make sure you talk about those things.
Yeah,
Like-
set boundary.
Yeah, set boundaries, and like she might say, hey, some of my family, XYZ people, they sometimes will come after money. And I think she should talk with the boyfriend, letting him know, because they may approach him directly.
Yes.
And I've had that happen,
So
and it's uncomfortable.
yeah. That's why it's most of the like that's normally a problem in here. Sometimes Filipina got so pressured in a way like if ever like she loves her family but she cares about what her man can about her and she don't want to make him think that it's about money. So that's one of the pressure from a Filipina to a Filipina having that kind of situation. Often it happen in here.
Here's
Yeah.
I'll give a great example.
Yes.
When in one relationship I was in, her niece, who was 2 years old, had been diagnosed with a brain tumor
Wow.
and was in the hospital.
Sorry.
So, and of course, your heart breaks for that.
Yeah.
And they were having trouble. The aunt and the uncle were having trouble paying the bill. So the whole family was trying to help.
Yeah.
They're all poor.
Yeah.
So they're borrowing money, they're doing this. And so the girl I was dating at the time, she never mentioned it to me until pretty far down the line because she did not want to pressure me.
Yes.
That felt so, I was a little mad, like, hey, gosh, I'm becoming part of the family. Then, I would want to help.
Yeah.
But so it's like, rather than the first thing out of their mouth, oh, by the way, my nephew's birthday's next week, and we don't have money for the birthday cake.
Yeah.
If that's the first thing out of their mouth, at this point,
It just
it doesn't feel good.
yeah. Unless you operate. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I guess it's kind of like almost sales. the way she says it. If I say, hey, what are you doing next week? Oh, we're doing this, this, and this. We have a birthday party for our nephew and stuff. And then, you can come to it if you want. And then somewhere within the conversation, I might ask, well, what do you guys do at birthday parties?
Yeah.
Well, usually we get a birthday cake, but probably won't be able to afford that this time.
Yeah.
Then that gives me the opportunity to step in and say, hey, I'll get the birthday cake.
Yes.
Right?
So it's depend how it turns over to you, how
welcome to Life 101.
Yeah.
How you say something is so much more important than really what you say.
Yes. So, okay, Marco, thank you for the time today. I know that you are having a busy schedule editing your own stuff as well. And but before we gonna end up the video, can you say something and talk about your channel? Like what you do?
Sure.
Like because it is very professionally well done, your videos. So
stop it some more. So I have, so on YouTube and Facebook, if you look under Being Empowered, that is my platform. And but the main platform is Patreon, which is a paid subscription. So I don't expect Filipinos and such that don't have a lot of money that they would pay, because obviously your subscribers, they don't pay anything.
I don't let them pay.
Right, so that's why I do have a YouTube presence.
Yes.
So I make one video a month, a 15-minute documentary style.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
I've watched it, and you're doing a great work. And not just because of what I mean is not just from editing. I like how you help people, and my favorite part is like when you help that guy. Teenagers, like makes me cry when I've seen him having his bike, because I can relate that stuff. You just changed his life. I can't imagine how happy he is to have a bike.
He actually is now competing in races.
Wow.
This is a kid with one leg.
Really?
And he's competing in races. He's figured out how to get a job, to buy more parts for his bike because he loves it so much. So you'd love to be that spark. And that's, as a teacher, that's what I always tried to do.
Yes.
So
what is the most fulfilling part of you making a video?
Oh, it's just when yes, at the end when you give the gift. So Janice is the dragon boat paddler that's deaf.
Oh,
okay? And we did that whole episode on her, and we gave her a bike also at the end. It isn't so much that gift at the end, but when I get to know Janice and this amazing person she is that has a full-time job, travels, does all the commuting, which is in that video, and she's deaf. She can't talk.
Yeah.
She has to text or whatever, or, if somebody knows sign language, but she's just absolutely amazing. And then to watch, she recently went to Thailand for the World Championships, and she came home with like 8 medals.
Oh, that's amazing.
So those are just moments that are just so precious. And for us as teachers, that's the moment, the light bulb moment, we call it. When somebody discovers a higher potential of themselves, and I can do something that I didn't think I could do.
Yeah.
Even you didn't think you could do this 8 months ago. You would have said, there's no way.
There's no way.
And here you were doing it because people around you encouraged you and said, yeah, you can do it.
I got a lot of help as well. I would say thank you to all my subscribers. Thanks to you, John. I have a lot of good friends around me that constantly motivating me. You're doing great. Even though sometimes I feel they keep reminding me that I'm doing great. And that's a big help to me. Yes, as being here as a content creator, kind of. So, Marco, thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And so, okay, guys, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and God bless everyone. Always put that smile on your face, stay positive, and take care.
Wait, should we do our shout out to our camera person?
What?
Shout out.
Shout out to my my Miriam, one of my she's in there. It takes an hour for her to sit.
You were awesome.
Say hi.
You were awesome.